What's up, everybody? Zfarls here with a MUT video breaking down all the new items in the game and tons of stuff to do this weekend. The MUT level cap was raised to 40. That goes from 30 to 40 and a double XP weekend. So 4 new solo challenge sequences, 31, 34, 37, and 40. There's also a new LaDainian Tomlinson level guy out there. So make sure to check that out. Plus, there's new gameplay elements because there's a title update, so you can go through and read all this stuff. The big things I'm looking at are increased pass accuracy when throwing in a clean pocket in competitive mode, which is what a lot of players wanted to see online. Decreased defensive penalty for using pass commit adjustments. So remember, your defenders might get pancaked. I still got to see that. Haven't played a ton yet. Tuning to increase frequency of holding penalties when the aggressive coach adjustment. So lots of changes to coach adjustments. Guys, if you've been using conservative ball carrier, if you've been using aggressive, if you've been using aggressive pass rush, that's still there. I believe you will still see some hurdles from linebackers, but I know you can go check Twitter and see all the conversation there. Addressed issues around users losing control for a short time during camera flip on turnovers. I thought that got better last patch, but maybe some people still having trouble with it. And some MUT squad stuff was in there, and then inability to move outside linebacker when showing blitz in dollar. So some good adjustments. You get a new hard flat for inside linebackers instead of bluff blitz, so that might be able to make some new blitzes as well. And then if you're going to go Xbox One X, you get 4K, I believe, when it comes out. So those are some of the patch changes. Now, ratings-wise, this 93 read is much better than the 90 version. I heard he had like 91 everything, and I was like, okay, that's good. But he has 93-1 rating, and I was like, well, what's his 93-1 rating? If it's spec, I don't really care. If it's catching traffic, I don't really care. It's route running. This makes the Andre Reed amazing. I don't believe he has the great run block that he had last year, but overall, having a guy with 93 route running is tremendous with all 91 stats elsewhere. That makes him a very unique type of receiver. Obviously going to jack up his price. You can still go Julian Edelman, but he's so much better overall than Edelman, who came out earlier in the season. Deerdorf finally gets a right tackle for people that don't have an all-gold offensive line, that are not me. You finally get a really good right tackle for run blocking. I still think the team hero Conklin, because his pass block is like 94 instead of the 93, would be the guy if you pass the ball a lot. Even though the Deerdorf is better overall, he's a better run blocker version of a right tackle. So you have a new best right tackle in the game with strength and run block, and he's still a pretty good pass blocker as well. Then they drop Football Outsiders on top of those legends. So Carson Wentz is one of the new best quarterbacks. He's got double chemistry, and he has conductor. He gets to 90 throw power, and he's got 93 short and mid. So especially with the new accuracy tuning and a clean pocket, I feel like this Wentz could be very, very good, because only Derek Carr has conductor. A couple other guys, like, this is a rock-solid item. I want to test it out. Campbell is actually as good as Khalil Mack, and he's actually as good as Clowney. So there's a Mack and a Clowney that most people use. This guy has similar block shed, and then 95, 87, where the other two dudes have, like, Clowney has like 94, 84, and Mack has like 94 finesse move, 87 or 88 power move. So Campbell's right there, and he has a block shed. Normally, this Campbell usually flies under the radar because people go, hey, he's big, he's slow. He's a block shed strength guy. That's not that valuable. But this Calais Campbell's different than years past, and I think he could be a really good option. Now, he would be less because he's not as big of a name as Mack or Clowney, but he's in a different program, Football Outsiders, which those guys have been expensive. So he's worth it on name brand because he's a little bit less there, but he's not worth it potentially with Football Outsiders because those items could sometimes be more than a guy like Mack, who's in a program that was a master that everybody might have been able to grind towards. So consider that. But if his price is good, check that out. They do special teams players, 2 studs in Leckler and Bucher, like they did last time. So consider those guys, but once again, they could be very expensive. Frederick is good. Centers are kind of hard to come by, and he's pretty strong for a center with good run block. Buckner, a lot of people liked, and I have liked in the past, but with that low strength, he's not a great DT. He's a better DE, and you're going to generally not take a DT and put him at DE. You're going to generally take a linebacker and put him at DE because it's cheaper to get better value. So those are a couple things that I think about when I see this Buckner. I do like, it's a good way to get a guy that has 91 finesse and he's got pretty good block shed to make up for some of that strength, and he's big like Campbell is, but strength's a little bit low for DT. Kirksey has really good block shed, but his strength is low. His zone coverage and man coverage used to be really good. They're not what they were. He's only at 78 zone. I'd like to see him in 80s, and then that might go better with that. His good play rec. 6'2", it's not 6'3", 6'4". Solid item. Wouldn't overpay for it. Generally have like Kirksey for coverage. This guy does a little bit of everything because he can actually rush a little bit, so I don't think you get the value you have in past. Adai I like, but he's a little bit slow for strong safety. The role I want my strong safety to play, because I don't bring my strong safeties in the box because I play cover 2. Cameron Brate is too balanced across the board, too solid. Give me a guy that does only one thing. Saffold's a little too weak. Deshaun Watson finally gets an item, and hopefully it's not his last item, but he is out for the season now. I think they juiced this guy way. I think his throw power on his last item is like 72, so he's up to 84. And he was like 72 short, 72 mid, so he got up to 80. Look, maybe you get one more Watson at the end of the year, and it's 88 speed, 90 throw power, 85, 80. I think he just started too low, and I don't know. Because for an endgame guy, he'd have to be like 90 speed, 90 throw power, 92 throw power, 90 short, 90 mid, 85 deep. Like, that's going to be an endgame quarterback, and will it be Watson that has those ratings? Probably not, because now we can't get more items to get there. So, a great year. I think his ratings at the start of next year will obviously be way higher because he played so good. But, hopefully this isn't the end for him. Not a bad pass block right tackle. Crawley, I called out a couple months ago. His speed and man coverage combo at 6'1", I liked, and I said if this guy keeps going, he could be good. And there you see a really good budget dude. And then Jones, I'll pass on, although he does have good speed and agility for a truck back. Normally they will hurt that agility when you go there. So that's all I have for today's reviews. That's a lot of items to get through, a lot of content to get in there. Go play the game. Let me know what else you're thinking. Until next time, this is Zfarls reminding you to lock up, stay hungry, and we'll talk soon.